Okay, so let's look at the two methods that you can use to access the Napier Cloud. If you type in this address, then we have the opportunity to log in through the web browser. So what we'll do is we'll log in with a student account here. Sometimes you may have to download the client plugin, but in this case it should be okay. If you're using an up-to-date browser, then I think it works okay without the actual plugin. So the second method, and probably the best method, is once you've downloaded the vSphere client, then you can log in through that. Just ignore that. Okay, so for the client, we should be able to view our VMs, and there's a range of VMs from Windows 2008 to Linux, Backtrack, Kane, and so on. Okay, so we're just logging in now to the client, and then we should see our VMs also in our browser. Okay, so here we are. So normally what we would do is that we go and power on a machine. So you would power it on, and then after that you would open up open up a console. So this one's already powered on. So what we'll do is that we'll just open up a console. We can click on it. So I'm accessing this from home, so you can see it's a little bit slower, but even in the browser it's acceptable. So this should open up our console. So this is an Encase VM if you need to do some digital forensics. Okay, so we can send a Control Delete, but normally you can type Control Alt Insert. Okay, so let's start up Encase. And we can start multiple ones, so let's have a look at these ones. So you should find there's some Ubuntu ones and some Windows 2008. Okay, this one's been powered on, so what we'll do is we'll just open that one up, so you can see Encase has already started, and we can start a new case. And so on. So our Ubuntu one is all started now. Okay, so the web browser works fairly well, but probably it's the client that you want to use. Just a bit easier to access the VMs. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll pull up this one, put that one over there, and then we'll pull up that one. Okay, it says two connections because we're actually opening the browser here. Okay, you can see here. Whatever we do here should get reflected through into the browser one. Just make that a little bit smaller. Right, so normally one of the first things that we do is find out what IP address that we actually have. So over here we do ipconfig, and over here we do ifconfig. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to ping from the Ubuntu image into the Windows one, just to see if we're connected, and we are. Okay, sometimes you might not be connected and maybe there's a firewall set on the Windows machine, so just make sure that you disable that if you want to test ping. Okay, so let's see if we can ping from the Windows machine to the Linux one. So 10.200.0.56, and that's fine. Okay, then what we have connectivity. Then what we'll do is have a look to see if we have application connections. So you should find there's a web server running on the Linux machine. So 10.200.0.56, and this is us contacting the Linux web server. Okay, so that's fine, and we can do the same on the other side. We can pull up a browser, and then we can access the Windows machine. Which is at 10.200.0.56. And .86. 10.200.0.86. Okay, so there's just a default page that we have for our web server. Okay, so those are two example VMs, but there are a whole lot of other VMs that we can actually use. So NKS, Metasploitable, Kane. So with Kane we have a VM which is based on a CD ISO, and it should boot up quite happily into Kane. So it's actually booting from a simulated CD drive. So in Kane we have a whole lot of digital forensics tools that we can actually use to be able to capture information from this. We have some mobile phone forensics, some network forensics, there's some Wireshark in there. And it should quite happily connect to our network that we have. Just have to generate some traffic in order for it to actually display something for Wireshark. There it goes there. Okay, there's a DNS query. It's obviously trying to contact the site, and it's doing a query there. Okay, so in this way we can run multiple VMs and we can analyze in a safe environment. Okay, so that's just giving you a very quick introduction to the Napier Cloud.